and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and the inspiration for this apartment was, I'm not gonna lie, the bed I just put down. I remember that I was building something recently and I noticed that swatch and I was like, I don't feel like I've ever seen that before, so I should definitely use that as an inspiration for a build. So this is going to be a bright blue and orange apartment, and I know that sounds insane, but I actually really like the way it turned out. I definitely had to experiment a little bit with like what was too much, what was too bright, like, because I didn't want it to be overwhelming per se. Like, I still wanted it to be like pleasant to look at, if that makes sense, but I really wanted it to really pop. If you know, I hopefully like I'm getting across what I was trying to do here. And this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery if you would like to download it under my ID, Spice and Sprinkles, which is all one word, all lowercase, and down in the description if you want to see it written out. And I honestly really liked the layout of this apartment as well, and I will say that this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and there is like a desk space in here. And I know I say it all the time, but I try to really incorporate some sort of computer because I know how important it is for like actual gameplay. And for this apartment, it doesn't have like the pipes and the fuse box thing, but it does have the fuse box. So it doesn't have both of the things, just the one. And I end up putting a like fireplace near it, which if you need to work on it, you're probably going to just need to move the fireplace, but I didn't like necessarily like block it off or put like a ton of stuff in front of it. So hopefully that's not going to cause like any kind of huge issue for you. And again, just in here pulling on a lot of that like kind of funky furniture as well, and I brought that theme I think throughout the whole apartment, so it's really like bold and just very, I don't know, kind of funky. And I actually do something I feel like pretty interesting in the bathroom, and I know that sounds like a really weird statement to make just in general conversation, but I tried something new in there that I haven't done before. I like create this like, I don't know, like, I don't want to call it a terrarium because I don't think that's really the right word, but I end up doing like a built-in shower kind of thing and like building it myself. And I like to use like a window on the wall that I used to create the shower, and I end up using an eco lifestyle window, the one that's kind of like a triangle, so it's like an empty cavity, which when you see it, like, I think it'll make a little more sense if you don't know which window I'm talking about. But I end up actually filling that with plants and even like a little like fountain. So it's actually this really cool feature in the bathroom. And I don't know like why somebody necessarily would have installed it, but it's actually kind of cool. And that you have to like actually take care of it. But you can see I've kind of like placed it in there now. I was like, well, that's weird, but it kind of looks cool. Like, can we do something with it? And so we do end up keeping it. And so it's honestly just like super fun. And I think like a really cool separation of like the toilet and shower spaces. And we do have a double sink in here as well, because this is actually a pretty big bathroom for your Sims. But you can see I put a little bit of like grass at the bottom and then like another like deserty kind of plant in there. And then I do place in the little fountain that I was talking about. And so be sure to stick around for the screenshots because I got one of like the fountain and everything, and it looks really cool. Like, I feel like it'd be one of those cool features you'd have like in like a B&B, or like just like, you know, you're traveling and it's like a funky hotel or something like that. Like, I've never been to a place like that, but it just feels like that's where it would belong, or in a really interesting apartment in the city, you know what I mean? So hopefully you like that, and hopefully you don't think it's like too weird or anything. I do end up actually going back and I do paint that wall, so it looks like drywall right now, but that is like fixed and is good to go. And this has been play tested. Your Sim can do all the things they need to do in the bathroom and they don't have any issues doing it. And I am excited to say that when like I said, there was a fireplace in here, and I am excited to say that when I was playtesting it, the Sim did not catch the apartment on fire. Like, I was so happy about that. I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I guess technically I built 2 homes today, and I built one yesterday, and I playtested all 3 of them today, and none of them caught on fire. So who knows, maybe like the curse has been lifted on my save file and, you know, we don't have to worry about that anymore, but we'll see. I've probably just jinxed myself. So no like Sims on fire or anything like that in the screenshots for this one. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, recently in a lot of my builds when I've been playtesting it, the Sim keeps catching the build on fire. But luckily that didn't happen for this one. And you can see we use this really like deep blue here and the orange, and I think it ends up really working well together. And I feel like I don't usually use like the white wooden floors because I feel like it kind of washes the space out a lot of times, but I think it really helps counteract all of the color in this space. And we do end up putting like a little dining space kind of on the other side of that counter, which I think worked really well and created this really nice open floor plan. So I definitely think you could do a lot of entertaining in this space, like, and have a lot of fun, like, playing with it. And let me know if you have a sim in mind for this. Again, I feel like I've been doing a lot of builds lately that require maybe like a specific sim, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know what the sim does. I didn't really think about like, you know, what their life would be like. You know, sometimes I do, but for this one I did not. And don't worry, we do include a fruit bowl in this build, so that will be there on the counter. And like I said, it has been play tested, so your sim can do the cooking they need to do, all of that kind of good stuff. And I honestly struggled a lot with the living room. I think I got there in the end and it did come together. I just had to trust the process I was going through with it. But I think I had a lot of trouble like with the rug, and I believe we swapped it out a couple times, but I believe we do not actually use the one that's there right now. And I think I actually end up using like some base game couches, and this couch I don't think I actually really ever use. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it's super boxy, and so I don't use it a lot of times, but I think it worked really well in this space. And we have that like pop of color as well on the wall with those like photographs. And we do end up next to the fireplace, we do end up putting in some bookcases from the Book Nook kit. And I feel like eventually, like when I say that, like I'm going to get tongue-tied and it's gonna be like a whole like it's gonna be a whole thing while I'm talking. And I did get to use those funky like end table and like coffee table that came with Get Together, which I was really happy about. And again, I think the more like funky nature of this interior lended itself really well to those. And so I end up actually using kind of a like more modern fireplace here. And like I was saying, it's what's right next to that like fuse box, so it would be the only piece you probably need to move in case your sim has to get to it. But it felt really awkward leaving a whole space right next to it, if that makes sense. Like it was too much. And I do end up swapping out the entertainment center for, I think it's a piece from Get Famous that I feel like has a lot of bright colors, and we don't usually see it very often, at least in my builds, because a lot of times I have a hard time using it. But I actually got out the other matching piece over there by the front door, which I thought looked really lovely. And I think we end up using the swatch with like the rainbow books in it, which I thought was kind of fun. Like I wasn't sure when I was going to use that, but I don't know, I felt like it was kind of perfect for this space, having just like that big punch of color there on the wall next to the fireplace. And it's actually really funny. I was like, I could have sworn I got out the fourth picture that went with that set, and I was like, I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I deleted it. Like, it's fine. And fun fact, it's it's behind the fireplace. I do find it because I do place some stuff on top of the fireplace, and I was like, oh, there it is. So we do end up with all 4 paintings there on the wall, which I think ended up being really nice. And I was honestly worried that this would be too open of a space, but I think we filled it out really nicely. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And as always, I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.